Day 820 being Christopher Cruz. Today is Sunday. We just got back from church. Wow. It is crazy how good God is. We got there today. I was with my mom and dad. We got there early. The first service, there was like so few people there. And it's like, oh yeah, it's New Year's Day. Who's going to come to the 9 a.m. service? And so I got to be there. And we started that service. And I'm just so proud of how much I've transformed, because I used to, when I first started going to church, I would see the people who'd go to the front and stand in front of the stage and like put their hands up and worship and didn't care what anyone else thought. You know, everyone's standing in their seats, like, you know, staying in their seats, just like not worshiping and all that. There's a rosemary bush here, and I need this because I'm about to cook something, so I need some fresh rosemary, organic, homegrown. There it is. What was I saying? And so I looked, and it's like there's no one at the front. Like there's just not a lot of people there. And I'm like, I'm gonna go up there. Who cares what anyone thinks? And it's just like cool that I could stand up there by myself, and it's not like it's just about me and God. Like that's it. It's just me and God. And it was just powerful. And I was just praying, and the first service, like at the beginning of service, they give our pastor like a card of like who to honor. And it's crazy because I've been going there for a year and a month, and I was on the internship, like serving 40 hours a week. And he's never like read anything about me, which is totally fine. There's 500 or 600 people there. But the reason why I'm saying that is because today, of all days, they picked me to honor while my parents are there, which I think I know which pastor did that, which is just like, wow. But it was just such an honor to, you know, stand up in front of everyone, and, you know, our pastor say something nice, and my parents are there, and, you know, he's like, his parents are here, you know, and it was just like, everyone knows how much of a miracle it is that my parents are at church with me. And it was great. So we go through the first service, super powerful. And then the second service comes around, and it's just so powerful, talking about fear, all these different things. And then I go up to pray for people, and I'm standing in the front, and our pastor's like, you know, saying stuff, and I got my eyes closed, and I'm just putting my hands out and just kind of like praying over the audience, and I'm facing the whole audience. And all of a sudden I feel a hand on my shoulder, and I look, and it's my dad, and I'm like, oh, like, what is he doing here? He's like, can I have prayer? And I was like, yeah, you just gotta pick someone to pray for you, and they'll pray for you. And he looks at me and says, well, I pick you. Will you pray for me? I was like, yeah. And so I was just like, I just closed my eyes, and he put his hands on my shoulders. I put my hands on his shoulders, and I just started praying for healing and all these things. And I put my hand on his heart, and it's like God showed me in that dream the other night, like how much pain he has in his heart. And I just started praying for that. And, you know, I can feel my dad getting emotional, and, you know, and it was just like a really powerful experience. And so I'm praying, and then I'm waiting for our pastor to do the prayer where people can accept Jesus into their life as Lord and Savior. And they say a certain prayer where they, you know, accept God into their life, because he does it every single service. And so I'm waiting for that, you know, and I'm still praying for my dad, and we're up there in front of everyone, and he doesn't do it. I was like thinking like, wait, what the heck, Dad? Like, or not Dad. What the heck, Pastor? Like, you didn't, I'm like thinking like, he didn't do the prayer. Like, my dad wants to get saved. My dad wants to give his life to Jesus. And on the day that my dad wants to do it, the pastor doesn't do the prayer. And I was like, there's just this moment of kind of like panic. And then God made it really clear. I want you to do it for your dad. And I was like, wow, what are the odds that I'm going to say the prayer with my dad, and he's going to repeat after me, where he gives his life to Jesus. And I was just like, wow, I've gone to that church. I've been there about 50 Sundays, and there isn't a single Sunday where they didn't do that prayer of giving your life to Jesus. And on the one Sunday when my parents are there, he doesn't do it, and I get to do it for my dad. And it was just like, it was so emotional. And so I'm praying it. God is just speaking through me. It's so powerful. You know, my dad is crying, and I could just feel him, I could just feel, oh, it was just amazing. It was amazing. And then when we're done, he gave me a huge hug, and I hugged him, and we just held each other and hugged each other and just cried. It was just like the most amazing experience. And right after that, he's like, I can feel the shift. It feels like this weight is lifted. And it was incredible. I was just like, wow. And I'm just like in awe, wiping tears from my eyes. And then I look over, and one of my friends from church comes up, and he's like, hey bro, can I get some prayer? And I was like, yeah, man, of course. And so he's like, hey, can I get some prayer? I just want some focus and clarity. And God was like saying to me, like, no, ask him why he really came up here. And so he told me all this stuff, and I'm like, hey man, that's good, but what do you actually want prayer for? And I was like, dang, that's bold. I don't know. You don't really say that to people when they come up and ask for prayer, but I was being led by God. And so, so I was like, what do you really want prayer for? And he had the answer immediately. And oh my God, the word that God gave me to pray over him, was so powerful. God gave me this mantra to give to him, which is trust the light, trust the light, trust the light. And God showed me he trusts the darkness more than he trusts the light. He trusts the devil more than he trusts God. He's focused more on the fear than on the faith. And it was just like this incredible, prayer. It was just so powerful. And he's, in tears crying, and it's hitting him. And it's just like, he can't believe, oh my, that makes so much sense because this happened and that happened and all these things. I need to slow down. I'm spitting everywhere and this and that. And it was just like this incredible, experience. And then after I pray for him, we're talking, and, he's saying this and saying that. And God keeps giving me explanations of what to tell him, what to give him. It's like, it was crazy, and it was so powerful. And it was just like, I couldn't believe this stuff was coming out of my mouth. He was talking about being in the presence of God and being in the light. And he's like, it's just hard because I don't always feel it, and then God just showed me, use this analogy. And I started talking, and I'm like, he said, I don't always feel the light. And I said, listen, just because you don't always feel the light doesn't mean it isn't there, right? Right now we're in this building, and the sun, we can't see it. We can't feel its warmth. We can't feel it, but we know it's there. In order to feel it, in order to see it, we got to walk outside of this building and stand in its presence in order to feel its warmth. And so God is showing me that when you're not feeling it, you're not feeling the light, you're not feeling the light of God, the presence of God, it's because there is something spiritually that you need to walk out of. There's a building that you're in that God did not call you to be in, whether it's a situation, a relationship, an experience, the action you're taking right now. You're in a building that is blocking the light, and you need to walk out of it. And I said, because you're saved, the prison door has been opened. You're not a prisoner anymore, right? Prisoners are the only people in the world that don't get to choose when they see the sunlight and when they feel the sun's warmth. You're not a prisoner anymore. You've been set free. And so your cell door is open. You just got to choose to walk out of it. And it was just so powerful. He's blown away, and I'm blown away. And he wants to join the prayer team, but he's scared because he doesn't think he's going to pray right. And I'm like, bro, I just joined this 3 weeks ago. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but God will speak through you. God is speaking through me right now. I don't know any of this stuff. Come on, you know this. I'm just new to all this. And it was just so powerful. It rocked him. And God gave me the mantra to give to him, which is trust the light, which is saying trust God, trust God. And I was just blown away, just like, what? And so my dad got saved. And, my mom's loving it. She's into all of it. And then he comes and he gets that prayer from me, from God. God just used me. And it was just I just felt so empowered. And I'm like, wow, fasting has done this. I've never felt this kind of connection or anointing when it comes to praying for people or seeing things, like, it was just like, wow, this is incredible. It's the most empowering feeling. People were like, you're glowing. Like, I was walking around and people were like, you're glowing. Like, what is going on? And they're smiling. And I went and thanked my pastor, and I was just in tears because I was like, man, the man that you are, like what you stand for, your authenticity, like my parents wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for who you've been in my life and the example that you've created. It was just like, so grateful. And so then we're getting ready to go to the Apple store, which is right down the street from church, and we park because my dad's gonna buy me the my laptop for Christmas. And so we get to the Apple store. I pick the one. We're all excited. And then the guy runs his card and it's not working. And he runs it again, nope, not working. Does it again, nope, not working. And so then he gets a text message from his bank, and then he has to call his bank. And my dad comes over, and he was emotional, which is, he was angry, but there's also vulnerability. His eyes started to tear up. And he's like, my card's locked for the next 2 days. They're locking it. I can't get access to it. And I could feel like, normally it would just be anger and frustration, but there was love in it. There was heart in it. And it was such a beautiful experience. And I was like, Dad, it's all good. God's got this. God's got this. It's all good. And so we weren't able to get the laptop. They had to take it back into the back room where they have all the laptops. I was like, Dad, we'll get it in 2 days when you get access to your card again. You could just send me a gift card because he leaves tomorrow. You could do the gift card thing again, and we'll just do that. It's all good. And I could tell he was like bummed, but he started to like surrender. And then we get out of the store, and I start walking in one direction. He's like, Chris, we park back there. And I was like, I know, but we're going to go this way. And right across the street was a Foot Locker. I bought my dad some Adidas shoes for Christmas, but they didn't fit him. So I returned them to Amazon, and I was going to have to buy a bunch of pairs and mail them to him. And then he's going to have to try them on and send them back. Just a hassle. It's been stressful. And when I saw that Foot Locker, I was like, I'm going to take my dad in there so he can pick his pair of shoes. So we go into Foot Locker, and I'm like, oh my God, I get it. I'm like, Dad, the crazy thing is, we thought we were coming here for you to give me a gift, but we actually came here for you to get a gift. You just gave your life to Jesus, and now you're getting a gift. Like, you love so much, and you're always giving to others, but you don't give to yourself. And this is a chance for you to receive. You give, but you don't receive. This is an opportunity for you to receive. And me and my mom and my dad were just like, what? Like, this is crazy. And I'm like, Dad, you could pick any shoe you want in here. And there are all these really cool, like, modern Adidas shoes. It just so happens like they're on sale. $150 shoes for $70, $60, $70, $80. And it's amazing. And he's looking at shoes, and he picks this one that has all these bright colors. And I'm like, what? I was like, dang, he really is changing. He would never pick something like that. And then he found these ones that he really likes. They're so nice and so modern and cool. And so I was able to get him those, and I was just like, wow, God is so good. I was like, Dad, like, I'm excited to get the laptop, but being able to get you these shoes is so fulfilling, because you get to come here, you get to pick the nicest pair of shoes he's ever gotten, and a $150 pair of shoes, and he gets to try them on. They fit comfortably. Like, God is just so good, but we need to be selfless. And in being selfless and giving to others, we get back so much love. So, it's just such a blessing. It's just such an incredible blessing. My dad got saved. My mom got saved on this trip. I couldn't ask for a better gift in this world. And just in the nick of time, my dad leaves tomorrow. We got to take him to the airport in the morning. And it's just incredible how, it's just incredible. It's incredible how God is working in my life right now. And I really believe that had I not fasted, most of this wouldn't have happened. Because the conversations that we've had to have over the last 10 days with my parents, like, God has been working on all of us. It's been challenging, but it's been like, there's so much love in all of it. And we've just all had to grow so much. And for my mom and my dad to get saved within a week of each other, it's just, I couldn't ask for anything anything else, anything better. So yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful and so inspired. God is so real, and I just want to do this stuff the rest of my life. This is all I want to do. And so I can't wait to continue the fast. My fast starts again tomorrow. I'm going to jump on it for the 40 days and just see what God does. And there's so much more that I got from the message, what our pastor was saying. It was all about fear, and it was so incredibly good. I took 2 cards worth of notes. And so now I'm going to go in and make my parents a really good dinner. And yeah, amazing.